Hello everybody, this is Risky998, also known as David. So it has been about, I think April 15th was the last video I made, so it's been a little over 10 days since I made a video. And if you see the title of this video, which you did if you clicked on it, you already know the reason why. And that's because I went on a vacation with my family. I went on a 3-day Disney cruise to the Bahamas, which was then followed by a 3-day vacation in Disney World. I haven't gone on vacation since last summer when I went back to Iowa and visited my friends. So this was really, really awesome. And I last went to Disney World in 2012 when I believe I was 16 back then. 16, yeah, 16 or 17. I was 16. So, you know, this was awesome. It's been 5 years almost, since I've gone to Disney World. So I'm gonna have some GTA in the background. I'm actually playing this while I'm recording, so if I lose my train of thought at any time, I'm sorry. I'm trying to play and give commentary at the same time, which I usually don't do unless it's about the gameplay, but I just felt like playing some GTA and I felt like making this video anyway, so I'm kind of multitasking. As you can see on GTA, I have literally no money. So I might start up an event. I'm not sure. For right now, I'm just driving around and showing off my awesome cars. So I'm just going to be talking about my cruise experience and my Disney World experience. Everything that happened, how it was. First of all, it was amazing. It was way better than I thought it was going to be. And I was already super excited for it. My family has gone to Disney World multiple times. I went when I was 3, when I was 6, when I was 9. And then the last time when I was 16. So I've been there 4 times before. One time, usually around a week each, I think, in Disney World, which is a lot of time. We got to go to all 4 parks and explore everything. This time we only had 3 days in Disney World, so it wasn't a whole lot of time. But we did have the 3-day cruise before, and I've never been on a cruise before. This is my first cruise, let alone my first Disney cruise. If I go on another cruise, I'm probably going to go on another Disney cruise, because it was that awesome. So, the cruise. I live in the D.C. area in Maryland, so we had to fly. My parents, my sister, and I flew to Orlando. We flew to Orlando, and then the bus picked us up. The Disney Cruise Line bus picked us up from Orlando and brought us to Disney World. And we stayed in a hotel just for one night. It was one of the Disney resorts. Every time I've gone to Disney World, I've stayed in the Wilderness Lodge, I believe. I think there might have been once I stayed in something else when I was like 3 or 6. Maybe when I was 3 we stayed somewhere else. But every time I can remember, we've stayed in the Wilderness Lodge, which is one of the really nice Disney resorts. I love the Wilderness Lodge. But this time, for this single day, we stayed in Pop Century Resort. So that resort was pretty awesome. It really wasn't that nice compared to the Wilderness Lodge. It's like considered one of the economy resorts. It's still more expensive than a normal hotel, I believe. But it's one of the cheaper ones when you're looking at Disney resorts, meaning like a nice Disney hotel that's on the property, and you get all the resort's benefits. But it's one of the lower level resorts. So we only stayed there for one night. It was really awesome. Basically, the whole idea, it was all centered around music, and each like different building or each section had a different theme. So like we were in the 70s building, but there was also a 60s, a 80s, a 90s, etc. Alright, that guy just blew up my car. That wasn't cool. So we stayed in the 70s building. So it's a pretty standard hotel on the inside. But on the outside, there's all kinds of giant statues and decorations and stuff. So, we had all flower power and disco and all that kind of stuff all over the place. So it was pretty awesome. Sorry, let me call it Moore's and get my car back. Real quick.
Morse Mutual, how can I be of service?
Alright.
So
that was pretty cool. The hotel was pretty nice. The food place was pretty awesome. But it wasn't anything crazy. It was just for that one night. Then the next day, the Disney Cruise Line picked us up, the bus. They came and picked us up again. Hold on, what should I call? I'm going to get my GTR up in here. So the next day, the Disney Cruise Line bus picked us up and brought us to Port Canaveral, Florida, which is a big port where a lot of cruise ships leave out of. Around 2 p.m., I think, we finally boarded the cruise ship. We went to our rooms. Our luggage was already waiting outside. They brought it from the hotel. That was awesome. We got in the room, and it was really nice. There was a little veranda too. We got a veranda room, meaning it's like a little porch kind of that looks over into the ocean, like on the side of the boat. So that was really, really nice. You weren't supposed to smoke out there, but of course I was out there vaping like the whole time, because the only people that could see you were the people in your room and the ocean, unless you're at port. So we got a veranda room. We had 2 beds, but there was like this other, or we had 1 bed, I believe. Yeah, there was 1 bed, and then there was like this bunk bed kind of thing that pulled down from the ceiling. The room service people, when you're gone for the day doing activities or whatever, they automatically come and pull down your bed for nighttime, and then in the morning they come and they clean everything up and put your bed back up. So you don't have to get your room ready or anything. They do it all for you. It's like when you're at a Disney resort or at a Disney hotel or Disney World in general, you're really used to that. They call it the Disney difference, which basically is like just amazing customer service. Everyone's super friendly, and they treat you like luxury, even if you're not, even though you're just at a hotel, they treat you like, they want to give you that Disney experience, and it's awesome. On a cruise ship, it's even more so. I felt it was even more like that. It was kind of even higher class kind of thing. So that was awesome. But we got to our room, and then the ship finally left. So when we first got on, we had a welcome aboard lunch. So one of the places where you can eat every day for all the meals is called Cabanas, it's called. We were on the Disney Wonder, by the way, our ship. So there's a couple different Disney cruise ships. We were on the Wonder, which is actually not the biggest one. They've got like 2 that are larger. They've got more water slides and stuff. But this ship was still awesome. They just redid the Wonder like 3 or 4 years ago, I heard someone say. So it's like all new interior. So it's really, really nice. It's really updated. And it's still got water slides on the top deck. It's just not the big tube one that goes over the side you guys might have seen in commercials. That's on one of the other ships. But that's mostly for kids anyway. You can go in there as an adult, but there's so many kids on the ship that honestly the kid pools are so filled. Unless you have a little kid with you, you're not gonna get in there. But it's still cool to look at, I guess. Anyway, so one of the places you can eat every day is called Cabanas, and it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet. Really awesome food, basically everything you can choose from. If you've got a really picky kid, they can still find something to eat. Me personally, I like everything, so I ate everything. I had so much food, and that's your welcome aboard lunch, because they know you've kind of been walking around all day, like on the bus and on checking in, and haven't really gotten to eat lunch, so they give you this huge lunch. And then the ship left like at 5, I think, so like 2 hours later. So we went up on the top deck and had this whole thing called the going away party. So it's this huge party where it's a Disney style party. It's not like a club thing, but Disney characters are up there, and there's like these background dancers. They're all dancing. There's music. Everyone else, all the people are up on the deck. Everyone's dancing. They're like shooting confetti around. It's really catchy song. I forget what it's called, but it's like Anchors Away or something. It's kind of like the Navy. I thought of the Navy's theme song, which is Anchors Away, but it's totally different. So yeah, you have that giant party, and then you're underway. You get assigned a dinner time. So they've got the later time and the earlier time. Ours was the earlier one. So we would always go to dinner at like 6 something, or right around 6, I think. We'd go to our restaurant. Your restaurant changes every day. So there's 3 different restaurants on the cruise ship. So you repeat one twice for dinner, and then the other one, you go to one each. If you're on a longer cruise, I guess you repeat them more. So we went to dinner out a little bit after the party, and where were we the first night? I'm trying to remember, because they've got Triton's place, which is like King Triton, like Little Mermaid, and then they've got what's her face is Tiana's place, which Tiana is the princess from Princess and the Frog, the black chick. That's a really great movie, by the way. I really thought that movie's kind of underrated. People don't talk about it a whole lot, but that's a really good movie. Anyway, she's got her like New Orleans style restaurant. That's really good. Triton's place is kind of a more fancier like seafood place. And then the first one we went to was called Animator's Palette. Yeah, that's what it's called. It's all animation themed. They've got like animation sketches all over the walls. They've got these moving animations on the TV screens. They've got this big show where the animation comes to life, and like all this music plays, and yeah. So everyone goes to dinner at the same time in your group. So everyone gets their drinks around the same time. Everyone gets their meals around the same time, dessert around the same time, and then the show happens. Then pretty much everyone leaves. So it's kind of nice because you're going to get your food on time, because they're kind of doing it for everyone. They're keeping everyone to a schedule. It's not like we're in a normal restaurant where everyone checks in at different times, so they're working on all this different stuff. I don't even know how they do it because, you know, they have to make the meals for everyone simultaneously, but they do a really good job. You have your waiters, your waiter, and then like your assistant waiter. They were really friendly. We had a guy named Jack who was our assistant, and I forget our main guy's name. My memory's really bad, so I'm already forgetting details from the cruise, and I came back like on Monday, which is terrible. But they switch with you, so when you go to your different restaurant the next night, your same waiters are there. They're just dressed up in the clothes for whatever that restaurant is. And you look around, it's all the other same waiters, so they switch with your dinner group. So that's really cool. They get to know you by the end. I mean, on a 3-day cruise, they only get to know you so much because, you know, you eat dinner like 4 times. But they still, you know, they're very friendly. They get to know you. They always are asking, how was your day? You know, they recommend things. Like, they recommend, like, tomorrow we're going to be at the Bahamas. I recommend you do this. They always have the recommendations for the dinner stuff if you're not too sure. The menus for the dinner places, I thought there was really good food, but they don't have a lot of options. It's usually like 3 or 4 options versus a normal restaurant where you got like a million options. And that makes sense. You're on a ship, you know, you got more limited supplies. I always found something that I liked, but my sister's really picky, so there was one night where she didn't really like anything, but she still had like the pasta or something, and it was pretty good. So yeah. Oh, by the way, let me show you guys this car real quick. I've already banged it up a little bit, but this is the LG, so you guys might know it as a GTR. This is the retro version. So if you bring your normal LG to Benny's custom shop, or if you order a new LG and bring it there, you pay to Bennyize it, which turns into this retro version. So it's like it's like an R34 R33 mix GTR. You can't tell because I've crashed it, but those headlights, I don't actually have headlights. I've got carbon fiber air intakes, which I've seen people do in real life, and I think it's stupid unless you have a track car. As you can see, I can't actually see in the game either, but I thought it was, you know, really ricey, so I did it. Yeah. All right. Anyway, so moving on. So I'm just gonna summarize real quick because I've already been talking forever. I haven't really gotten into it. I might make a second video someday, get more into detail on the cruise. But the first day, like not the day we boarded, but the next day, we arrived at the Bahamas. So we went to Nassau, which is the capital of the Bahamas. It was kind of dirty. It was kind of run down and kind of poor in some areas, but other areas were really nice. Like there was a ton of shops, and the beaches were really nice. You can pay money to go to like the super nice, like more isolated beaches. We just found a beach in town, which was like the most common one that everyone walked to, and it was still really nice. They had a bunch of people out there cleaning up the beach, you know, cleaning up trash and stuff. So it wasn't trashy or dirty or anything. It was like very touristy, but it was in the middle of the city, so it wasn't like one of the expensive resorts. Like if you vacation to Atlantis, which is like the hotel at the Bahamas, they have their own private beach. That's a lot nicer, but it's all the same. Personally, to me, you know, a beach is a beach. It was still a nice beach. The water was actually freezing cold, so I always imagined that at the Bahamas the water would be really warm, but it's still like, it was early April, and it was actually kind of like not cloudy, but it wasn't really warm. It was kind of windy and a little overcast. Like I wasn't cold by any means. Like I burned pretty bad. Like when I was on the beach, it was really warm, but when I got in the water was freezing cold. Like I don't know how cold it was really, but compared to the air, it was really cold. It wasn't like beautiful warm water, but after a few minutes, it's like if you ever gone to the ocean in the Atlantic, after a few minutes you get used to it, and you know, it wasn't that bad. The second day we were still in the Bahamas, but we moved overnight to Castaway Cay, I'm sorry, is what it's called. It's a private island that Disney owns. Well, they don't own it. They have a 90-year lease from the Bahama government, so they basically own it for the next 90 years, and then they'll probably renew their lease. It's like Disney World, but on an island. So they've got all kinds of stuff to do, lots of different events you can sign up for, lots of different, you know, you can go snorkeling, you can go, I think they have scuba diving, you can go like paragliding. All those cost a lot of money, so we didn't do any of them, and the water was kind of cold anyway, but there's tons of stuff you can do. But if you just walk around the island, there's a buttload of different beaches. Me and my dad played like shuffleboard and pool, like in the tropics. Like I was like, who thought we'd be playing shuffleboard in the Bahamas? But it was really fun. While we were waiting for my sister and my mom, they went on a kayak or like canoe adventure thing. They said that was really fun. Then we just went on the beach. There was this water slide that dumps you into the ocean. So it's basically like a Disney resort in the middle of the Bahamas. It's really awesome. It's their own private island. So, and if you're 18, so the really awkward thing is I'm 20 years old. So, all the cruise ship is divided up by age groups. So you've got, the place for your little kids, the place for your kids that are like up to 12, I think, and then the place for the kids that are up to 17. They've got the 18 to 20 society, they call it, people that are under 20 years old. But I never knew where it was or heard about them doing any events or anything. All the adult only sections are 18 and older. So I could go to all the adult only clubs, the adult only pool, the adult only areas. But on the cruise ship, you still need to be 21 to drink. So basically all the adult places were centered around just chilling out and drinking and like having a good time and drinking and, spending time with your family, your wife, your husband, whatever, your parents, and drinking. And I couldn't drink at any of them because I'm only 20. So I couldn't buy any drinks. But when you're actually in the Bahamas, the drinking age is 18. So when you get off the ship and you go to the beach, if you're 18, you can get a daiquiri or a drink or whatever and chill out on the beach, which I did. My mom was there and she let me do it. But I was over 18 anyway, so I could buy it. But when you're on the ship, even though you're in the Bahamas, the ship departed from the U.S., so the rules, I guess, is that you can't drink. You can't buy a drink even if you're 20. So it was I couldn't drink with the adults, and I couldn't hang out with my sister and all the kids that went to the kid thing. So it was kind of sucked. But I basically just went to the adult pool area and hung out in the pool, or hung out in the room or went to the shows. But you don't really spend a whole lot of time dicking around on the cruise ship anyway, because every day you're somewhere. Also shows. So opposite your dinner time, they have a show. So the first night was the Golden Mickeys. So it was like a award show thing, but it was an actual play. It was like, at first it seemed like a award show, but it was a fake award show. It was like, where they have all these characters and stuff. The second night was Frozen, the musical. So it's like a Broadway version of Frozen. Also very, very good. And then the third night was Disney Dream, which is like when this kid's having a dream and Peter Pan comes and visits them, and like all these different characters, Disney characters, appear in the dream. So it's kind of cool. The shows were really good. It was like going to Broadway. I've been to Broadway in New York City, and it was pretty close to that level of skill. I don't want to say it was as good as Broadway, but it was close. I wouldn't say there was a whole lot of differences. They just didn't have as many resources. It was a smaller stage and less props that they could fit on the ship. But still, they had an amazing amount of props for a ship. And they had like these little elevator things, like these lifts that brought props up onto the stage. So I thought it was really well done. And then after the cruise ship, we went to Disney World. I might actually talk about Disney World in a separate video, just because right now we're at 17 minutes. So I might actually just title this one like, my Disney Cruise Experience 2017 or something like that. But we did go to Disney World after that. That's all part of the bundle. I'm pretty sure the bundle we bought, like you go to Disney World, you go to the cruise, all that. Some people go to Disney World before the cruise, I think. But yeah, so our third day is out at sea. So it's where you're basically just dicking around out at sea. You don't have any destination. You just get to spend your day on the ship and do whatever the ship has to offer. You're not going to an island or anything like that day. So that was really relaxing. It was a nice way to wind down the cruise. And then breakfast we had actually one of the nice restaurants, Triton's Place, and then we got off the ship pretty early in the morning and got on our bus for Disney World. So yeah, it was an awesome vacation. I still can't believe my parents let me go. Like they paid for me to go, just like they did when I was a kid. I didn't have to buy anything, buy the tickets or anything, which was really thoughtful of them, because I can't afford tickets to Disney World at this time in my life, especially spending all my money on my car. So I would not have gone if it wasn't for my parents. I would not have been able to go. So I'm really, really thankful that they brought me on it, because it was just an awesome time. But yeah, guys, that pretty much sums up the Disney cruise experience. If you guys have any questions about anything, I can go into more details in another video. Just leave a comment down below. I will make another video probably within the next month about my Disney World experience, because I know I made a video all about what I did in Disney World when I went in 2012. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. All right, bye.